Hi there, my name is Phoebe and myself and my colleague Lou work in the East Riding Libraries. And today we're going to put together a short video for you because presently we're unable to come into the homes to see you, to visit with you. So we want you to sit back and listen to our short video. The theme that we're going to choose today is going to be celebrations. Okay, I wonder if you can think of any celebrations that have stuck in your mind. Possibly it could be a wedding or an anniversary or a christening maybe. I wonder how many of you said some of those. Okay, let me think of the one that I'm going to talk about first. Okay, I'm going to describe it to you and then let me see if you can guess what it is. So we all like to receive them, don't we? And they all come in different shapes. They can be wrapped up in pretty paper with a ribbon on the top maybe, or you can put a gift inside a gift bag. Or you could just be given a bunch of flowers on this special day as well. Can anybody think what day that might have been? A birthday. Well done if you said birthday. Okay, so let's cast our minds back to our birthdays when we were younger, because maybe that's when we really looked forward to the birthdays, didn't we? So let's think about those birthdays that were under the age of 10. Those are the ones we really looked forward to, and possibly maybe when we were 13, because that was the end of our childhood and into a teenager. Then maybe the next one that we would look forward to is our 18th, and then possibly the 21st. I'm not sure about this. Is it 18 or 21 when you actually get told that you could possibly get the key to the door? And here's a very happy photograph of a young man who has got the key to the door, isn't it? And this was taken around about the 1956 era. So look again, once again, a beautiful cake to celebrate. And there's the key in his hand. Will key to the door mean that no longer do mum and dad have to wait up for you to open the back door for you? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's what it means, but maybe 18 or 21. Okay, so let's go back to our parties. When it was your birthday, would you have been expected to wear your best outfit? Maybe mum might have made a really nice dress for you. I know my mum did, and it was called our Sunday best, and we're only allowed to put it on a Sunday. So, and maybe the boys had nice shorts or long trousers maybe, and a nice starch white shirt. And when you put that on at the beginning of your birthday, were you allowed to maybe go out in the yard to play or out in the street? No, I don't think so, no. I think you'd have to stay nice and clean until it was time for your party. When it was your party, there was party food on the table, wasn't there? Lots of different kinds of sandwiches. I wonder, can you think of any that you might have had on the table there? Maybe a cheese sandwich, or maybe egg sandwiches. They used to smell a little bit, didn't they, boiled eggs? Or a jam sandwich. Yeah, I think jam sandwiches were all our favourites, weren't they? Because they were nice and sweet. Okay, and what was the centrepiece of the table? What did we always look for and hope that we had? Because maybe you might have helped mum make it with the run-up to your birthday. Maybe mum followed a recipe out of a bureau book. If you did help mum to make a cake, what kind of cake would that have been? Could it have been a fruit cake or a sponge cake? Maybe a Victoria sponge cake. And in the middle of that Victoria sponge cake, we had to put icing, didn't we? Maybe a butter icing. Or maybe we just put strawberry jam or lemon curd, possibly. But delicious. Okay, then the fun bit. What went on the top of the cake? The icing, didn't it? So maybe mum had an icing set. Okay, shall we open the box and have a look inside and let's see what there is? Here we go. So does this look familiar? An icing bag, and there's some more nozzles to actually go for different designs on top of the cake. Yeah, okay. So there's the icing bag. So you would open it up, wouldn't you? Pop the icing in, possibly butter icing maybe, yeah? And then you would squeeze, and with a steady hand, maybe you would write the words, happy birthday. Very steady. And maybe you would, at the end, put the number, that birthday that you were celebrating. Remember that? Well done. Okay. And then, to decorate the cake, on the outside, do you remember a frill? A frill that would go around the outside of the cake? Yeah, and you always had to be careful, didn't you, when you'd cut that cake, to take the frill off before you cut it. Okay, and when that cake was finally ready to be cut, do you remember what all your friends or family would do before the cake was cut? Let me see if you can remember. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday dear, happy birthday to you. Well done, good singing, good singing. Okay, so when the food had all been eaten and you'd got full tummies, we think about party games maybe. Maybe were they played in the parlour? So maybe parlour games. Would maybe you have played tiddlywinks? There we go, tiddlywinks. That could be played by quite a few people, couldn't it? Shall we look in the box of this one? Here we go. Inside, there we go. And there was always a large counter. Everybody had a large counter, didn't they? And a small one. And you would flick the small one, trying to get it into the centre there. And if it landed on any of these, then obviously you would count your score, but the aim was to get into the middle there. That's tiddlywinks. Maybe you played that, or maybe your friends and family played snakes and ladders with you. And do you remember that you always tried to stay clear of the snake, didn't you? Because that meant you had to go down the snake, and that was sending you back home, wasn't it? But we all liked the ladders, because the ladders you climbed up onto, didn't you? And they would send you up, and hopefully you would get to the end of the game. Do you remember the last square? Not what number the last square was. It was number 100. Brilliant, okay. So that was what we always aimed for, wasn't it? Okie dokie. So did you like to win games? Were you somebody who took part in a game and you had to win? Yeah. Or if we went outside, if we were able to go outside and we didn't have to stay in the parlour playing games, what games would we have played outside, do you think? Possibly hide and seek? Yeah, possibly. So there would be a seeker, and he had to count to how many, or she had to count to, 10. And then they would shout, coming ready or not? And then they would go and find. Maybe you might have hidden in a tree, or in the coal house possibly, or just behind the corner wall. Who knows? And the last person to be found, what did they have to do? Yeah, that's right. They, in the next game, were the seekers, weren't they? They had to do the counting. Okay, so maybe you might have played hopscotch, or I'm just trying to think of the games outside. Maybe races. You could have had races, couldn't you? Skipping races. Well done. Okay. Moving on to our next celebration. I think we've spoken about it, and our weddings. Okay. So if I was to say this poem to you, here comes the bride, something old. Here comes the bride, something new. Here comes the bride, something borrowed and something blue. I wonder if that makes you remember. Okay, so 2 different wedding photographs I have to show you today. Both taken in different places. Let's see if you can see. Okay, so here's the beautiful bride and the groom. Here she is with a long white dress and a beautiful white veil touching the ground, and her flowers, maybe some white roses or a white carnation, do you think? And look at the fine gentleman, very, very smart, isn't it, in his top hat and tails. The tails are down there just underneath the hat. And always the groom would have a flower in his lapel, wouldn't he, that complemented the bride's bouquet. And the very smart top hat there. Whereabouts do you think that this picture was taken? Outside a church? Yes, I would say so. That was a church wedding. Okay, let me show you a photograph of another wedding. Here we go. So very different. The bride and groom are dressed very differently, aren't they? The bride looks very smart in her dress, doesn't she? And a beautiful handbag. And this time the dress is very short and there's no veil, is there? It's just a smart hat. And the gentleman looking very smart in a 2-piece suit, but clutching a different kind of hat. So what building would you think that wedding was taken at? Registry office? Yeah, I would say so. So 2 different weddings. Okay, so once the bride and groom are out of the church, what might we have been standing with in our hands, ready to throw over them? Confetti, possibly? All different colours of tissue paper and confetti. Do we remember? Or we stood there to welcome the bride and groom. There you go. Do you remember that? Possibly. And if you passed a church or a registry office the following day, you would still see the confetti, wouldn't you, laid on the floor. Yeah. Okay. And if you like to take photographs when you were at the wedding, possibly you might have had a camera that looked like this. Yeah, well done. Okay then, so after the wedding, the bride is able and the groom get into the car, don't they? And then they go off to the reception. Okay, and at the reception we look forward to speeches and lots of food to be eaten again, and toast to the groom, toast to the bridesmaids and to the bride. And that takes place, doesn't it, all in, it could be a church hall maybe, or a village hall, or a dance hall. I wonder where yours was. Okay, when the ceremony for the food and dancing and speeches is over, then what else happens? Here we go. Then it's time to cut the cake, isn't it? Once again, the happy couple are together, aren't they? And they both hold the knife so that they can cut it very safely together. And can you see on the cake and around the cake, there are horseshoes, aren't they? What did they used to be a symbol of? If you were given a horseshoe, sometimes a bride might have been given one outside the church. I'm led to believe that it's for good fortune in the marriage, for good luck if you were given one of those. So, 3-tiered cake. Also, what happens to the smallest layer of a wedding cake? The 3rd layer, or the smallest one? I'm led to believe it was sometimes used for another celebration in the family's life. But we'll talk about that later. See if you can think about it. All right? Okay, so now I'm going to hand you over to my colleague Lou, and you're going to have some songs. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Phoebe. Well, Good day, ladies and gentlemen. It's really good to be here in your home, albeit on the screen. I love talking about celebrations. Makes you feel good. And I've written a song that I'm going to play for you. And in this song, I was thinking about celebrations and important times in your life that you seem to remember throughout your life. And some of these might resonate with you. Family, special family days. Who loves music here? Yeah, for me, music was such an important thing in my life. But going back, school, not always good, but friends that see you through. And I think that's the lovely thing about being here in the home, where there's always somebody around when you need some company. Going back in my life, I was thinking about what Phoebe's been talking about, birthdays, and the birth, in particular, the birth of my brothers. Has anybody got brothers and sisters here that they remember being born? Your life changes, doesn't it? Going to church, we've spoken about going to church to get married, but some early memories I have are of standing on the chair in church, having to be quiet. So all these things added together into the song, which I imagined I was older than I am, and looking back at my life, and it's called As My Sun Continues to Set. Shadows lengthen, future days are less, light trips up the horizon. As my sun continues to set, my sun continues to set. But I'm still part of the debate. I care about our children's future. As the green ray lights up my sky, these things I will not forget. Fragments that will stay till the end. Going back in time, starting now, with a picture of us. The family, the difference that music made. Further back, the school bullies, me and Julie laughing anyway. Further back, Newtown, no friends, Newtown, no friends, Newtown, no friends. Further back, plastic snakeskin boots and a feather cut. Monday evenings, high chaparral. A zephyr parked in the driveway. Mirrors like angels' wings, like angels' wings, carry me away. Like angels' wings, carry me away. Standing on a chair in church. Please God, I so want a bike. A postcard from my mum, written in my grandpa's hand. My grandma scooping me up, taking me to hospital on the bus. My baby brothers, just born. Fast asleep. Shattered memories, future days are less light. lifts up the horizon as my sun continues to set. My sun continues to set. These fragments that will stay. Join in. You don't need to know the words. Dun da dun 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 da 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 dun 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 da. I woke up on Christmas morning and it was there. Did you join in? Well, if you didn't, you can wind it back and join in next time if you feel like it. So, right at the end of the song, one of my favourite celebrations of all, Christmas time. Who loves Christmas? What's so special about Christmas? What do you remember? Christmas decorations, lighting up the room with a Christmas tree, big Christmas dinner, presents, yeah. Presents. I remember all those Christmases seem to roll into one. And some of my favourite things are singing Christmas carols. Have you got any favourite ones? How about this one? Join in. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. One more time. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Yeah, remember carol singers at the door? A lovely celebration. Well, Hull has got its own very special celebration. See if you can think what it is. It happens at the beginning of October every year and it comes for a week. And it's full of excitement. Lights, noises, sounds, party food, Hull fair. Did you guess? Well, I'm going to read you a poem. This is a poem written by my friend. Here she is. This is Catherine Scott. She comes into the library to tell us about her poetry and to read her poems, and she's such good fun. And this is called Hull Fair. Hull Fair. We'd not been for years and years, and we thought, well, the weather's good and it won't cost much. So we went along for a little walk round and picked up some brandy snap for under £1. The lights flashed on, off, on, off. The rides were terrifying. Kids were screaming, faster, faster, up and down, upside down, round and round. Each ride competed with its neighbour to break the sound barrier, rocking, thumping, jumping, bumping. And as people queued for their Hull Fair adrenaline, I realised I couldn't stop smiling. I got caught up in the atmosphere. Come on, I shouted, let's go on here. My husband, in his 70s, sensibly declined. Oh, well, win me a cuddly toy then, go on, and that bow and arrow thingy. Once more, sensibly, he declined. Not one to be defeated, I tried again. Look at that man over there. He's won one for his girlfriend. But my husband wasn't impressed. He said, you can forget it. I'm not carting one of those things home on the bus. I took the huff. He tried to win me over with some Bob Carver's pale greasy chips. As if. He tried again with piddly little donuts. jumbo hot dogs, and in a bag candy floss, not even on a stick, like it was when we were kids. I said, well, you're not fobbing me off, I want something far more posh. And I stuffed myself silly on modern marshmallow, strawberry and chocolate dip kebab. Well, my husband treated himself to a wild boar burger. Well, the whole fare has changed, and I never did get my cuddly toy. Oh. Well, it's the end of Hull Fair, but it's not the end of our session today because I'm going to invite Phoebe back to finish off.
Thank you. Thank you, Lou. Right, before I left you, we were talking about cakes, delicious cakes again, and that smallest tier was reserved for some other occasion in a family life. Did anybody guess it, what I'm talking about? Christenings. That's right, well done, well done. I have a beautiful christening gown that I would like to share with you. Won't be a minute. Here we are. How beautiful is this? There we go. If you can see the embroidery at the top, along the top there, and the lacy collar, how beautiful is that? And if I turn it around for you, it is tied at the back with two like fastenings. It reminds me of something that a royal baby would wear, don't you think? I don't think nowadays that we see too many children being christened in a gown like this, but how beautiful. Maybe the baby might have worn a bonnet or a christening cap as well. Okay, let me show you two pictures that we have. So this one is of a mum in the 1920s with her baby in a very similar gown to the one that we've just shown you. Can you see mum's long skirt and her lovely top with a lace collar around it? And her hair is very beautiful, isn't it? All immaculate. And baby looks so content there, doesn't he? Okay. And then one christening a little bit later, in the 1940s, a very proud sister there, looking at her baby brother who looks very contented, once again in the beautiful long christening gown. There we go. All right, and I have just one more picture to show you of a very contented baby. Can we see? Can we see this picture? There we go. Baby looks so contented, fast asleep, isn't he? Golden slumbers, kiss your eyes. Smile awaits you when you rise. Sleep, pretty baby, do not cry, and I will sing you a lullaby. There we go. Okay. Well, that brings us to the end of our video session today, and I really do hope that you've enjoyed it and it has brought back some memories for you, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.